And we are live. I love that sign. You are live. Hey, good evening, everybody. Dave Wilson of the Ring of Hire Show. Hey, tonight I got my great colleague here, Matt Lunney. He's been on the show for multiple times. How you doing, Matt?
Dave, I'm doing great, man. Excited to do this show with you, part of our three-part series today.
Yeah, I love this topic about LinkedIn, and like Matt said, we're going to do part 1 tonight, 2 and 3, and we're going to really deep dive into LinkedIn and some of the importance of different features that they have. So you know the drill. Be right back after this video.
Get us hyped up, Dave.
All right. I'm sorry. I get all pumped up from that no matter how many times I watch it.
I know that's why I said it before it came on. It gets me pumped.
It does, because I can't go back to my other videos now. They're just too boring. They're too slow.
Yeah.
Hey, we got to invite the first guest in tonight. You know who it is. You saw it.
I already saw it. Yeah, Kenny.
Yeah, tonight we have Kenny live, Kenny Dunner. We might as well just add him part of it. David Wilson, of course, absolutely. You already know that you are such a swab. That's different. Distinguished gentleman. Wow. I love it, man. I tell you. Do you think he has cut and paste, or do you think Kenny types all that out?
Man, I think he types, because it's a lot of things are the same, but there's little nuances that are different with every one.
And he switches it. There's Shelly. How you doing, Shelly? She's always on the show too. She comes in, and she's always tagging. Shelly, I always see all the tags that you do for me. I do reach out to a lot of the candidates that are really looking for work, and she always tags me if I can help them. So I always invite them to the show, and a lot of them don't respond. They're like, "What? No, I don't think so." So, Matt, tonight, this is a great part, which I like. Everybody talks about LinkedIn, but I think it's not used correctly a lot of the times. And I've done it from learning, and I'm sure you have too. I mean, it's tough.
Like anything with technology, it's tough to learn, and it's ever evolving. I don't know, and I know we didn't talk about it. It was something I wanted to bring up, but did you see the new thing where they have an AI feature for posts?
Yes, and I want to tell you something about that too with the AI. AI had changed. I'm going to put my page up here, okay? AI did this for me. LinkedIn has AI now, and you're right. This is what they did for me. So they changed. It's hard for me to see this now right here, but they changed my whole thing about me, right? In the beginning there, it's hard to read here like that. Let me pull up on my phone. So it tells me, it's a lot better this way. When I switched to it and I looked at my profile, it changed me to staffing expert at the Ring of Hire Show, job postings, CRM/ACA member / leadership mentor. It did my whole thing for me, changed it.
I didn't even look to see if mine changed.
Yes, and then it changed. So my bio, right? I was like, okay, let's see what, and I went with it because naturally, hey, if LinkedIn say do it, why not? So I went there. They changed it to, it's hard to see there. It tells all about me, a story about where I work now, 25 years in industry. It used every keyword I think imaginable that you can imagine. All I did was sign in, but I think it's a LinkedIn. If you have to have, what do you call it? Premium. Do you have premium?
I don't have that.
All right, then. Well, then if you got,
I don't. I have a LinkedIn Recruiter. I've never used Premium, but I've used Navigator and I've
Yeah.
used Recruiter Lite and Recruiter.
Yeah. And it is right. Kenny says Matt Lunney. Oh, geez. Kenny, Matt, I'll let you read yours.
You're making me blush over here, Kenny. I wore the blue to make my eyes stand out, just for you, buddy.
Yeah, right. And I found recently that once I went premium, it has been getting busy. Yeah, it that's a feature that I wondered whether or not, like, I only pay 20 some dollars a month for my premium for 6 months.
Yeah.
I put a ticket in. and I said to him, I've been on LinkedIn all these years doing lives, and I said I get nothing. So I put a ticket in, and they came back. They offered me for 6 months at $20.
That's
not a bad deal. No, it was pretty reasonable. And Kelly says, nice intro. So, try it. Listen, like Matt said, if you get something that says LinkedIn has AI, try it. Right?
Yeah. Well, for me, and I don't know, maybe it's just with the package that we have through my work. Like if I go to type a post, it's like it says, "Do you want to enhance this with AI?" And I say no because I use Chat GPT before I even get to that part.
I didn't see that yet. I haven't seen that. I only seen the beginning when it did for my pro.
It's.
I think you're froze up here. There you go. I think you're coming back to life.
Yeah, I literally just opened up and it said, once you do posts, it says start typing or draft with AI. I'm gonna stop using my computer.
Yeah, I didn't see that yet. I haven't seen that part. I just saw it when it did my intro and it did my my bio for me.
Yeah, my stuff is the same. I didn't think they would change it, but they didn't.
No.
But yeah, so let's get into it.
Yeah.
LinkedIn.
So I want to talk tonight, Matt. When you see when I put it up here, when you put in your image on your face, right, your profile picture, and then behind it, you're putting your I have recruitment on my image behind it. Okay, it says recruitment in the back that I just Googled some images. Why do you think it's important? Why do you think it's important to really choose something that fits you?
I use, my company has a couple different ones, but in the past, and I've changed them from time to time. You want it to kind of represent you, it's a fun little thing, besides just your photo, which I think everybody should have a photo. That's just my opinion. Everybody should have a photo and a professional photo, I actually had a conversation with a girl the other day and was like, hey, can you put something where you're dressed a little bit more conservatively on your LinkedIn photo, because people are going to go to your LinkedIn profile when they, look at you, and when they see that photo, it's not going to represent what you're looking for when you're going for an accounting job.
Right.
And then as far as the banner in the background, there's fun things you can do, or you can just, keep it simple, but definitely have a banner. There's free ones. You can literally type, LinkedIn banner to Google. You can create your own very simply with Kavana's, an app they have a free version of it. You can make your own banner for.
I've seen you do that.
I've done that a couple different times, and a lot of times it was just like, hey, look, there's this new feature. And let me see how I could play with it to have mine different than the rest of my company when I was working for a larger company, just to kind of stand out. They had like 4 or 5 of their own, but they also allowed us to use other ones also.
I have to update mine. I haven't updated it in 3 years. I look pretty damn good 3 friggin' years ago, man. I look right there. That is a good looking guy.
Mine's going back about 5 years, but I like it. I was nice and tan in that picture, and
there's nothing wrong with.
Listen,
I like it.
AI
I think
Photoshop.
you put that picture. What's that?
there's AI photography things that people are
Yeah.
you can literally put in, and they're like 4 LinkedIn profile pictures, and it's like
Yep.
people look like their pictures are professionally done. Mine is literally off of a picture out of a company outing that I was like, oh, I look good in this picture, and I literally cropped out somebody else and just put that as my profile.
It is. And Kenny says, my photo is professional. Savor the flavor. Kenny, your picture is awesome. I love Kenny's picture. You know, I always look at Shelly. Shelly, she's standing up there. Look at her. She's standing up there, right there. But that's her. So I tell people say like, well, I don't like the way I look, or I don't take pictures. Well, listen, if you got an iPhone, I don't care what kind of phone, you can edit yourself. There's nothing wrong with putting a great picture, something just sharp. It doesn't have to be right. You know, you don't have to do it right from a professional, but they're nice when you do that. But I think it really represents yourself, and you can have a little fun too. You know, she said, check that out. There's a lot of things we're going to go over, but I do feel a good image, a good background, like on mine that I have. You know, it has my picture, recruitment. Now I change it up, like you said, once in a while. I change it up during a holiday. I put a holiday banner.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely change it up. Have fun. You know, be professional, but have fun with it. You know, it is a business networking site, but at the end of the day, we are people, and we are all different. And don't use the LinkedIn ones, man. They're so boring, and so many people have them because it's just stock photo. I don't have to do anything. It literally takes 10 seconds to go on Google and search something.
And that's it.
Some people, a lot of people put like a city drop of wherever they're from. You know, Jacksonville. We have the skyline, and a lot of times with the Main Street Bridge,
right?
A lot of people use a photo like that just because it's a elongated picture that fits that kind of format, and it still looks good. There's so many options of what you can do. Just have one, and have a picture.
Yeah.
That's like literally the first thing.
It is. And I tell everybody, when you click on your picture, you have options. Like when you click on your picture, you can add a frame. You know, you can come up on here, add a frame around yourself, and you have choices. The original, you're hiring. A lot of people don't see that. They don't put that on there. If you're hiring right now, what's that? Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say, if you're hiring or if you're looking for a job, if I have the back end with the recruiter, with LinkedIn Recruiter, but if with companies that I haven't had access to it,
right,
it's just an easy thing. I literally messaged a girl today that I was networking with, and when you put that ring up, it says looking to work, looking for a new job. Basically, it's somebody that's looking. She works in the accounting and finance realm, and I said, hey, so and so, free tomorrow. I would love to discuss what you're looking for in a new role. And the only reason I did that is because she put that ring up that says open to work.
Open to work. And that between now hiring, so it's a purple banner. It goes hiring. A lot of people don't utilize that. They don't utilize that. If anybody's out there on LinkedIn, listen, it's there for a reason. And if you utilize it, put on there that you're hiring, because let me tell you, when you're scrolling through and you see that purple banner now hiring, oh, she's a recruiter. Let me look. She's right in my area. Boom. Right there, you got a connection.
Yep.
And the open to work, I think that's one of the best features. I'm sorry. I love it.
Yeah.
Personally, I do. There's nothing embarrassing about it. Some people say, well, it's embarrassing. Embarrassing for what? That you're looking for a job and you're on a professional friggin', LinkedIn is so powerful. If you use it right, you're a professional, and that's what this platform is used for.
Well, Dave, I know you do my polls every week, and this week's poll was, where did you get your last job? Right now, the leading one is LinkedIn.
LinkedIn, yeah.
I want to say it's like 38 or 39% the last I checked out of over 200 votes, and then second is referral from a friend or a colleague, and then third is Indeed or Career Builder. So that
Yep.
tells you that more people are finding jobs through LinkedIn
Yeah.
than any other source. And then the last one is a recruiter reached out to me directly.
Right.
Where do you think most recruiters reach out to people? LinkedIn.
Open to work. And on
Yeah.
LinkedIn. Yes. On LinkedIn. You know,
So
we got Carrie here. Carrie
see,
Bryan. Hey,
exactly.
Carrie.
It's almost a double-edged sword with that question. That I'm sure a lot of those people that voted for recruiter reached out to me. The first point of contact was LinkedIn,
Right.
or they saw you on LinkedIn and then did our professional stalking job and found your phone number or
And your phone number.
email address.
So I look, Carrie says here, Carrie Bryan, I got my current role from being headhunted on LinkedIn. Yes.
Yep.
Carrie, thank you. And thanks for saying that. I appreciate it. And he's right. Listen, I liked what I had a gentleman on last week that was looking for work, and he was in marketing. And what I liked about what he said was, he's like, Dave, he says, you can apply on Indeed, which is great. And you can keep your fingers crossed, sit back and do nothing. Right. Or then he goes to, like we've said all the time, go to the company website if you've applied on, let's just say Home Depot as an example, on Indeed. You know what? And I like how he said, he goes, oh, I love this. He goes, I go on there and I look at the website. All right, this is about it. He says, then I have fun. I go on LinkedIn and try to find who's going to be my boss. And he goes,
Mike, right?
Yeah, Mike. And he said that he likes to do that because he'll send a short message, something just nice and short, professional. Listen, a lot of people don't be afraid to write a message to a hiring manager or something. Listen, I get messages, so do you. The worst the person's going to say is no.
I've sent messages directly to hiring managers when I was looking for things.
Yeah.
Or just kind of curious about a job that with a company I know has a good reputation.
Yeah.
And, using LinkedIn to find a job using their job posting.
Yep.
I put my profile on all my postings so people can reach out to me directly. I would say probably about 30% of people do, and then the rest don't. But when I see somebody post something, I don't even apply for the job. I go straight to that person. Like,
yep.
Hey, listen, we both work in talent acquisition. Let's save each other some time of, easy apply, go to find my resume. Maybe I'm a fit, maybe I'm not. When do you have 10 to 15 minutes to jump on a call to see if this is a good fit for me and you?
The worst they're going to say is no or not respond.
If it's not a fit, you know what? I have another connection, and I'm not big on I'm not a person that cares about a bunch of followers, but the people I do follow in our industry, it's for ideas. I like creativity. I like to see what people post. Leadership is another big thing I follow, as well.
Yep.
I recently started following somebody new, and his name's Cody. The last name's going to escape me, but his posts are super simple, but so many people follow it. He literally has an idea. He writes it on a dry erase whiteboard, and then he holds up his and then he writes a little bit of, a summary of a little more detail on his post of what he wrote on his whiteboard, and it has a bunch of followers, and it's definitely awesome.
And it's working. Carrie says, amen. Show interest. If you don't ask, then the answer will always be no. If you don't step forward, someone else will get the opportunity. Exactly what he says.
You're absolutely right, Carrie.
So I'm going to give you, Matt, don't tell anybody, all right? I'm going to give the biggest secret here for recruiters out there, all right? The biggest hint right now for recruiters to find direct hires, and I can't believe, Matt, that I'm going to say this live. I'm going to tell them why you want to put that open to work for even this. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. Are you ready? You ready, Matt? Don't tell anybody. I don't want anybody to know this. So when you look and you type in open to work up on top, right? It brings you up, people, locations, how it gives you the drop down. Open to work, Lehigh Valley, Easton Allentown, PA. Boom. Everybody would open to work. All the way down. Yep. If you're looking for a special field, I tell everybody all I do is just
you're giving all the recruiter secrets away. That's
that. All right. You've heard it live, Shelly, Kerry. You've heard it, Kenny. Just don't tell anybody. But if you're a recruiter, I know I shouldn't have said it. Do that. And then look at the state next to it. Like I'm on Jersey and Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, baby, I'll tell you what, man. You have what company, what industry, because you do the drop down, open to work, people, location. Wow, look at Matt. He's looking for a job in accounting. Jesus, Lord, look what I got, an accounting job open.
Yep.
That's what it is.
I spent a lot of time searching open to work.
Open to work, baby.
Because you know what? We are reaching out to people, and some people don't have that.
Yeah.
Some people have it, and you don't see it, too, if you don't have I don't know if they'll show you that on LinkedIn Premium, but if you have LinkedIn Recruiter, like if somebody's looking for a job but they don't want everybody to know, there's also a way to do open to work where only recruiters that have LinkedIn, like one of the paid platforms, can see it.
Right, and they can see it. And that brings me to that point there where you're talking about. So there's that button that says open to, okay? So hiring, you click on that hiring. So you have a choice. You want to put on there that you're actively seeking work or casually, you have that choice where you can put on there and you can choose.
Yeah.
Listen, my old boss told me, Dave, everything is for sale. Everything. He says, even my wife. He goes like that. but people, listen, a lot of people won't put on there. They'll put actively, and it's only seen by recruiters. Listen, Matt, are you ready for another one? You ready for another one? Here we go.
Ready.
So what if the recruiters see it? Okay. And the reason I say that is because there's nothing wrong with having options in your career, right? There's nothing wrong with it. So recruiters will see that person's actively or immediately seeking work. Listen, a lot of people don't utilize that function, and there's nothing wrong with it because they'll sit there and say, well, I don't want my work to know.
Yeah. I mean, I get it on both sides. But
I gotta go back and forth on it, and there's nothing wrong with it. If you're seeking work, you can put it on there. It gives now with LinkedIn Recruiter, does that bring those people up when you're typing it in? It brings all those people up, right?
Oh yeah. So LinkedIn Recruiter actually has two interfaces. So you have your LinkedIn page where you can do those searches, but then there's a whole different back software that has so much things. And it breaks the open to work down to actively seeking, open to work, where they're kind of at. It's a beautiful thing.
It is.
You get a set amount of in-mails depending on what kind of plan you sign up.
I think I get with premium. I think I get 10 emails a month, or I think it's 10, 5 or 10. I can't recall off the top of my head. I think it's 10.
I want to say mine's like 80 a week.
Yeah, well, for a recruiter, that makes total sense.
But I also
want to explain what that is, Matt. Do you want to explain what that is about with the in credits, so people understand when you pay for a subscription?
Obviously, with LinkedIn, you can message anybody you're connected with. With the in-mails, and you can actually I think you still get credits even if you don't have premium, a certain amount, because I used to have them when I just had the basic LinkedIn. But an in-mail is basically the ability to message anybody on LinkedIn that you want to send a message to. And it comes through kind of almost like an email format. And you can it'll also send them an email to whatever email they have linked to their LinkedIn account. Now, I do ask anybody watching this, please accept them, even if you're not interested in the job, because if somebody accepts the in-mail, it doesn't charge you a credit for it, and you can message them in the future for free.
Say that again now.
If somebody accepts the in-mail, it does not take away one of your credits for it. It's basically the ones that either get declined or never get opened that will use up your credits. So if
I didn't know that.
If you email somebody and they accept it, that does not cost you a credit.
Okay, Matt, Matt Lunney, thank you so much for believing me. I never cut and paste. Why does David Wilson think so? That's Kenny. He's always part of the show. But I like the in-mail because I feel the in-mail is for people that probably get 10,000. Like if you're an HR director in HR, you probably would get over and with so many messages.
Yes.
But by paying for it, if you're job seeking, listen, if I was job seeking, I would pay for premium or something like that because you'd want those emails. If you get so many a month, that's just all it takes is one to get that job. One.
Yeah. And it also allows you to it also will allow you to send it in an email form, so it's a little bit more formal, and it gives you, I want to say, up to 600 characters, whereas a message you can only get 300 characters. So
yeah, I
you
like
can put
it.
a little bit more into an in-mail, and you can in-mail any of your connections for free. So it comes through as a different format, but it gives you like a bigger platform. So say, me and you are connected, but I see open to work. And instead of being like, hey, Dave, saw you're open to work, want to connect, I can be like, hey, David, saw you're open to work. I have an opportunity. Here's a quick couple bullet points. When's a good time to jump on a call? I can make it longer, a little bit more professional than just sending a quick message.
That makes sense. Carrie has a question for you, Matt. I didn't know that, Matt. I do open them, but do I have to actually accept somewhere?
By reply, accepting is opening it is if you open it on LinkedIn, then that is accepting it. You just have to
I've seen that
reply. I would just reply like, hey, thanks for reaching out, not interested, or let's keep connected, not
oh, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying now. So instead of doing that, put the message. That makes sense. I didn't know it. I didn't think of it that way. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So even that's good for me to use because if I get in credits, when I ask people to be on a show, I like using them for that reason because that way if it gets to them. But I get some that I don't accept, and I'm thinking, why is that option there? So that's good to know. That's good to know on that part. I like that. Another thing, talking about when you look at the top of your profile, analytics and tools. I use that a lot because I want to see, at least have an idea how I'm doing on some of the stuff because of the show. But that can get overwhelming sometimes. Yeah. And then we're going to talk about that. And then it talks about the profile topics. I'm going to let's talk about the profile topics first. When you click on the top, analytics and tool, I know this is hard to see, but up top here, when you click on your program here, it'll say analytics tools up on top. You're clicking on that. It opens up and it says, like right now, I had 7,553 post impressions. I'm down 33%. The amount of followers you have, profile viewers, search appearances. I do look at that, but I like the profile topics. I put staffing, veterans, leadership, recruitment, and social media. That's underneath my profile. So if anybody's out there listening, go to your analytics and tools, and you're going to see on there, pick 5 topics because on mine, it shows on top there, right underneath my name, it shows that I talk about staffing, veterans, leadership, recruitment, and social media. Why do you think that's important, Matt?
Well, a couple of different reasons. One, it draws people with the same kind of interests. And if you use those actual hashtags in your posts, it puts them out kind of like to those specific hashtags. And occasionally, if you get enough impressions, it will actually post. So if you do like, say you do a post about hiring, you get 10,000 impressions under that specific hiring hashtag on LinkedIn, it will show your post. So everybody that has that hashtag will see it.
That's why it's important.
I have not done it yet, but I do have somebody that suggested, I don't have Twitter, but any of the hashtag stuff you can share on Twitter, and it can be, or now it's X, and it can be trending on there also. In your posts, you can pull posts from Twitter straight to LinkedIn or vice versa.
Wow. Is that something new?
I have not done that. But I had somebody that asked me what my Twitter was because, it's somehow able to connect to LinkedIn.
So I wonder how That's pretty cool for this because this show here right now is on Twitter for the third time. I didn't know I could streamline. Yeah, it's on Twitter now. So I'm on. It's Twitter.
Elon.
Social. Yeah, every time. Yeah, you're live on Twitter. I got 7 to 8 followers after every show. So,
nice.
yeah, and that's pretty good. Like tonight, afterwards, I'll go on Twitter and I'll see there. It looks pretty sharp. YouTube. This is on YouTube also right now, and it's also on LinkedIn, and then it's also on 2 social media groups. My 2 businesses that I have for it. So the Ring of Hire show. A lot of people on Facebook are watching this now on here. I don't like it because I miss a lot of messages. I wish I didn't. Sometimes I miss them because I think it's too many platforms that you're streaming to, and it doesn't all come through here. And it's too hard for me to look at Twitter, Facebook, all this YouTube all together. I just
assumed all the messages because I've always watched them on LinkedIn. I just assumed all the messages were LinkedIn messages.
Yeah, there are some of them will pop up here from Facebook. They will pop on here. Let's see, Kenny. I know it's rough out there looking for an employment. Fortunately, I've been employed at my current for 35 years now. I love what I do. That's
a copy paste, Kenny. Come on.
Is it copy and paste?
I don't know. I know he's worked at his company 35 years.
You're gonna get those little mean emojis. He's gonna put those mean emojis. That's not fake. But so this is why I like talking to you, Matt, because it brings up 2 things. You can put 5 topics underneath your profile there. Again, I have staffing leadership. I'm going to look into the part about the Twitter, so I'm curious about that. Listen, for somebody that's a creator that's posting all the time, analytics, they're always important. Analytics are to look.
Yeah.
I take mine too seriously sometimes because I'm like, I get stressed out sometimes. I'm like, oh my God. When I do a show that's negative, it goes up. When I do a show that's just normal, then it goes down.
It's funny you say that because somebody that I follow in the staffing industry,
right?
His name's Matt Hill. I want to say he works with Pursuit. I hope I didn't mess that up, but he posted something that it was just a comment, but it wasn't to me that controversial,
right?
But man, some people found it super controversial.
Yeah,
me and him had messaged about it a little bit on the side, and I was like, and I made a joke. I was like, who knew this was so controversial? Everybody's got an opinion, blah, blah, blah. God, I wish I could remember what it was off the top of my head, but he's like, I never thought it was that controversial, and I never have had this many impressions in this short amount of time.
Do you think LinkedIn and algorithm picks up words with listen, I don't talk about politics. I don't talk about religion and sometimes my own beliefs because I just don't want to get in any kind of trouble. I'm like, you know what? I don't talk about it. I don't comment on a lot of people's. I do comment, but I keep them safe, and I stay away from the ones that I don't want to comment because I'm like, you know what, Dave, stay away from it. I wonder if the algorithm of LinkedIn picks up on that stuff, keywords.
I'm sure it does in some way, shape, or form. Just like all the other social media platforms.
Yeah.
The posts that people get more argumentative on are the ones that get the most views and the most comments, the ones that are divisive. So
yeah.
I'm kind of the same way with you. Is I don't get over the top. I made a comment on a post today about interest rates in the Fed. It's not even really political, but some people turned it political. And I said it's kind of ironic that the people that sit on the board of the Fed are also investment bankers and bankers, and they control how much interest rates are. I was like, how convenient.
Right. That makes sense.
Really political. But I mean, I get there's an aspect because people are appointed to the Fed and stuff like that. But I had people that weren't necessarily happy with that statement. I was like, but it's also common sense. It's like the people that control interest rates are also working for the banks.
Right. Yeah, I know, right? Jesus. I wanted to hit now the area we've talked about analytics and tools. Right below or right across from your name to the right, you have a little arrow here. So it's premium sensing. So you put your first name, your last name, additional names. You can add those new things now, and this is where I try to stay calm about it. The pronouns. Hey, you want it? I shouldn't say it. You can put your pronouns. She, her, he, him, they, them. Customize it. Listen, whatever floats your boat there. I'm sorry, that's just not me. But I see it as on LinkedIn, and there's nothing wrong with it. I'm going to stay away from that. Nothing wrong with it. But you could put your headline, like I put AI changed it to staffing expert, Ring of Hire show. Then it has the position podcaster. Your industry, you choose your industry. And your education, if you haven't noticed it, some people that have gone to college, and I put my high school, I don't care. They have it up there to where you have your alma mater, you know, where you went to college. And people like that stuff.
That is a great selling point at times.
Is it?
When people are doing business development, a lot of times your team just won a game or the national championship or, you know, whatever. It's a way to relate to people, or if that's you guys have the same alma mater. It's like,
right.
Hey, I see you went to this. What year did you know so and so? You
Boy,
know,
that's a great catcher there to get somebody.
You know, when you're doing stuff like that, commonality is the easiest way to get your foot in the door when it comes to any sort of business development or sales. So, I mean, what better way than with your college? I'm kind of looking at mine. Talks about leadership, resumes, finance jobs, accounting jobs, and staffing solutions.
Yeah. I put my high school up there now. It says Delaware Valley Regional High School. And I've been getting connections from the high school. It comes up people that you know, and I'm like, oh my God, I haven't seen that person in a long time. Click.
Yeah.
You know, and I reach out, and it's pretty cool. Listen, again, now that from my high school, I didn't go to college. I went to the military, and I had it up there up top. I have to change it. I want to put that back up at their U.S. Army because I was getting a lot more traction on that, you know.
Yeah.
But again, what a great way to reach out to somebody knowing you went to the same college, you know, like my wife Hokies, you know, Virginia Tech. They're very loyal to each other. Colleges are loyal.
My brother-in-law's father went to Virginia Tech, and the whole family's diehard Virginia Tech fans.
Yeah, Penn State around here, they're all, man. You go to Penn State.
I got a couple friends that went to Penn State. Yeah.
You're gonna get hired. Your boss went to Penn State. Guess what? You have Penn State. If you don't have it.
Great pedigree schools also. Let's add that on top of it.
All right. You know, Matt, I'm gonna give you a serious question here. I want to see how you answer.
Let's go.
Is that muted? Yeah. What would you, if somebody went to Penn State, let's just say, so they went to Penn State for 2 years or whatever, they didn't graduate, but they spent 2 years there. Do you still put it on there?
I say depends how separated you are.
Because you see it on your resumes, people put it on there. Like I had a couple. You went to Penn State. Oh, I didn't graduate, but it's on there.
Yeah, I tell people nobody cares about where you went to school; they care about degrees.
Right.
So at the end of the day, now if you're like 22 and you know you stop going for whatever reason, hey, I'm 1 year short. I went to Penn State planning on finishing. If you're 32 and have, you know, a career path and you have no intentions of going back,
no,
I would not put that on your resume without a degree. One of the things that annoys me is when I see Harvard and then I look underneath and it's the online business school.
Oh, geez.
And it's like a certificate program for a management course that they took. I'm like, bro, get Harvard off of your resume and your profile. You took a 12-hour certificate course on leadership and paid $2,000 for it. You didn't. We got Carrie with a question.
Yep, Carrie. Can I ask you too, in the current recruiting atmosphere, how important is the degree to employers currently? Furthermore, does it look bad if I'm working toward a degree, but have been on and off again, and I'm in my late 30s? I'll take a first shot at that.
Go ahead.
And you know, I'm running into it, and I'm sure you do a lot too there too. Listen, I am a different type of recruiter. I don't assume anything. You know, there's reasons people have started school and haven't started or haven't finished it. There's reasons that he's working towards a degree on and off. He's doing that. I don't assume. That's not a question for me to say, well, why aren't you finishing it? You know what I mean? Like you're going back and forth, on and off again. I think it comes down to wording, how you might want to word that on your resume, because you need to be honest. Like you said, you need to be honest towards that. But when it comes to degree versus, it's a big one, is experience. I believe that the degree always isn't just as important. I believe the experience, I know I'm going to get hit on this one a lot. A lot of it is experience I look for too. I don't know how you feel towards that, Matt, but I go back. If the company's saying you have to have it mandatory, that's a different thing. It's different.
Yeah. So, my answer to that is not a simple yes or no,
right.
or experience versus no experience. I work for a third-party company. I have clients. They have requirements.
Right.
Most of my jobs are accounting and finance. Most of those jobs require a degree. Some require an MBA. Some require a CPA. Really depends on the specific role. Now, my personal thoughts and opinions, I am another person. I did go to college. I did not finish college. I've always been a worker.
Yep.
My experience speaks for itself.
Right.
With that being said, I do have to follow my client's requirements. If you are in school, a couple things that I'll give you a couple tips on. If one, if you start in your mid-30s, if you started say 2010, don't put San Jose State 2010 to present. If you're currently taking classes, put like 2022, like you're going, so they see that you're going back actively. The other thing is have that conversation with them up front, about, and I've talked to people. I had somebody call me a couple weeks ago about a role that they were interested in me coming to interview for. And I said, yeah, I saw the job description you sent me. The first requirement was a degree and I don't have it. And I was straight up with them. And the guy's like, oh, well, that's a like to have. We have what we call must haves and like to haves.
Right.
That is a like to have. But you have enough experience in, business to business sales and recruiting that we'd like to interview you anyway. I did turn them down on the offer because they wear a suit and tie to work every day. And I said, sir, it's 2023 and it's 98 degrees outside here in Florida.
Right.
I am not wearing it. And it was a very nice salary, a very nice opportunity, good company. I'm like, there's no way I am wearing a suit and tie. I was like,
in Florida,
wear a jacket for meetings. I feel underdressed half the time on here with you, Dave, because you always got that nice black sports coat on. And I almost think like one day I'm going to just impress you and put on my sports coat. But as far as that question, man, it's a great question.
It is.
Also, Google who pays for you to go to school. There are so many companies these days that what we call EVP and employee value proposition, which makes you stand out from other companies.
Right.
That actually pay, I work with companies that pay up to like $5,600 a semester and give you.
I have not seen that a lot.
Like paid as part of your salary off to study.
I have not seen that. Back in the day, when I was in the 90s, there was a lot of I know, right, Joel? I'm delectably, scrumptiously late this evening. And then he says, good evening. And Joel, and he can't spell. Joel can't spell. Actually, the show next week with Joel and the guys and Greg is about experience versus degree. Listen, I believe it's part of the recruiter's job for me to sell that person to management. Like if you're saying, Dave, all right, you're going to find me some people and we're going to trust you. That's where I go back and I tell people, this is what I say. Listen, I mean, if it says mandatory, sometimes they put it on there mandatory. But if not, I say the importance, the way you bring it up, the way you discuss about it, you're honest. It's that recruiter's responsibility to really go to bat for you, and that's just the way I feel on that.
Yeah.
He's funny.
I've talked to people with very, very technical engineering jobs that experience way outweighs education.
It does.
With what they're doing.
Right.
And I've sold people in and being like, hey, you're looking for very specific skill sets, program writing. This person didn't go to school for it, but you know what? They don't teach a lot of program writing in school. they have some basic stuff, but then you kind of
So have you seen a lot of the schools paying for college now? A lot of schools. I'm sorry, different companies.
I wouldn't say a lot, but if you are in school, it's not going to hurt you to look up a company that's paying for it. If
Right.
you're on the market, if you're looking for a job, yeah, my current employer reimbursed. Some will reimburse. There's a company out of Orlando. It's a very large healthcare company. We get sidetracked easily. Don't worry.
Yeah, I know, right? That's why, Kerry, thank you so much for the question. We don't mind.
Yeah.
I love talking about it.
There's a very large healthcare company, and they don't even, reimburse. They say, hey, sign up for the classes, bring us the bill, and we send the money directly to the university.
See, that's, I didn't, you know what? I didn't know a lot of companies were doing that anymore. I could see that as a great perk, because I told you back in the 90s, listen, you could, as long as you were going to school, they paid for it, man. Companies paid for it. You just submitted the bill. It was so easy if you wanted to take course or go to school. It's just the way it was. Let's tackle one more thing here.
Federal government and local county governments
on that. Yeah. So I mean, hey, I'm glad you said that. Open to work underneath your profile, it has the job titles. I don't know how much. I'm sure it's as important on here. Like mine, it says branch manager, market manager, staffing manager, professional recruiter, senior recruiter, location types, on-site, hybrid, remote, locations, where the different states or cities. And flexible, I'm casually looking, immediately, I'm actively looking, and all that. So you have the choice there. I think that's important to put those job titles. Don't you? I mean, I really feel it is.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yep. I don't know if I lost you or not. But yeah, it's definitely important to put those, what you're looking for title wise.
Yeah.
I'm a huge proponent of don't get caught up on a title, but also know what you're looking for in a role.
Right.
And certain titles carry those things, but it could also open up your eyes to hey, I've done X, I've been a business analyst for
the
last 4 or 5 years, running Power BI reports. And now I want to be like a Power BI specialist. And just do that for a third-party consulting company or something like that. And, a lot too is just like kind of knowing what you're open to, because there might be something out there that you don't know that is that perfect job for you.
Yeah. And, there's so many different words that you can type in. So listen, I just feel it's important if you really want to get down and have a great profile and optimize and just everything about you, just Google some of the job searches or use AI. We've talked about it before. I like the ChatGPT. I mean, I put on there because I get ideas, keywords, and that will open up the door. You get a lot of spammy recruiters, and I will say that the ones that just jobs don't sound right. I had a friend today. She said this company's, 2 of them reached out to her, and she said it didn't seem right. And I said, when it doesn't seem it's probably not. It's probably
there's
spam.
Scammers out there too, especially with the work from home thing. That's a big scam.
Is it?
Well, they tell people like, hey, you want to work from home job? They'll jump on a quick call with you, pretend like it's an interview.
Right.
And then be like, okay, we're going to send your equipment to you. And then they'll send you basically a fake application and ask for your name, birthday, social security number. Then,
that's a red flag.
There goes your bank account.
There it goes. Yeah. So you've heard that, people there. So just be careful.
I do tell people this isn't LinkedIn, but resumes, don't put your home address on there. It's too much personal information. If you want to put the city you live in so people kind of know the general demographic, that's fine. But, I would definitely not put your home address on a resume.
Yeah, I don't put that on there. I think the city, I think that's just enough, for on there. Joel says that happened right after I retired from the military. Yeah. LinkedIn's great, but also I've just learned, when you get those connections, when you get a recruiter reaching out, look at their profile. When you look at their profile, it's going to be right there in front of you, your answer. When they have just like one company, look how many posts that they do. Look when they were active. You see no post. It's spam. It's totally not right. You can just tell.
Yeah, for sure. And a lot of times at dead giveaways, they just put United States. They don't put any like geographic location that they're in.
It's a shame. I don't think they're ever going to get rid of them. Even it happens, I'm sure, to ladies as it does men. You get the ones, hey, how are you? It's nice to meet you. Oh, here we go. Delete.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. What's wrong? You're not talking.
I'm a fashion designer.
Yeah. I'm like,
why don't you accept my request? I'm like, and that's,
you're going to have that.
Yeah.
You're going to have that anywhere. But I want to thank you, Matt. And, I think we'll probably have like part 10. Jesus, we made it just on the profile section, but there's, on closing for my part, listen, if you really take the time and mess around with LinkedIn, you're going to see it's not that hard to do everything. Click on everything, look at it, check it out. LinkedIn is your business card. That's what I always say. A lot of the jobs, you don't have to use Indeed. You can apply, easy apply. You can do that through LinkedIn. Easy apply, I'm not always crazy about, but when you apply for it, then do the research of it, who works there. Go after that. Don't just click on it and cross your fingers. Hey, Matt, I messaged this person today. No. Look for, like Mike said, look for those people that's going to be your next boss.
Or the HR people.
What's that?
The HR people.
Yeah, the HR people and all that.
HR reaches out first.
You can send a personalized video. Some people, they don't like that. That's okay. On your message, you can send them your resume, attach it right there. There's all different things. So on me closing, I just want to tell everybody, take your time. Don't be afraid to put your pictures, images, be yourself, be true to yourself on there, who you are, because that really represents you. So Matt, if you want to take it out on the end of this, and then we'll be back next week.
So I'm going to add one thing real quick before the closing.
Go ahead.
That I didn't even think of. I haven't done it, but I've seen it a bunch of times. You can actually put a video as your profile picture. So as soon as somebody opens your page, they see, I think it's up to 30-second video.
Yeah, I have that, but they're going to end it. They ended it.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they did do it, but I have mine because it's grandfathered in there. It shows on there like fire. You can put 30 seconds, but LinkedIn went ahead and did away with that feature. But anybody that's had it, I don't know why they did that. I thought it was a great feature because you did, like Matt, you'd be like, hey, everybody, my name's Matt Lunney. I do, for your accounting. 30 seconds is a long time just to really introduce yourself, which is great.
Yeah, for sure. But, in closing, double down on what you said. If you're looking for a job, put that, open to work, have a professional photo, tasteful. Yep. We're not all, models here. Just put your picture up there so people know who they see. Put some filters on if you need, not the clown filters, but whatever filter you think's necessary. Have a good border picture. Really, to set up a good profile shouldn't take you more than 10 minutes. And just have it there. It's the first impression. When I work with companies, I actually email over people's LinkedIn profile. And I coach them like, hey, if it's not up to par, even if you're not a user of it or you have 12 followers, if you have a LinkedIn, make it look professional so that, people can see, an overview of how you present yourself.
You will get messages. You will get messages if you do it right.
At the end of the day, you can say people shouldn't be judgmental, this, that, and the other of how things are presented. But at the end of the day, people are. So at least try to present yourself the best you can.
No, I appreciate that, Matt. Thanks. And we'll be back next week, everybody. We're going to do part 2. And we're going to just really deep dive into different sections on LinkedIn. And I hope everybody enjoyed the show tonight. And trust me, you can send Matt a message or myself.
Absolutely.
If we know it,
everybody with the comments and questions, they definitely, even if they bring us off topic, we definitely enjoy them.
Yep. Awesome. All right, Matt, I'll talk to you right after this. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you.